All right. Oh, this light. I'm apologizing in advance. Let's see if this helps. Yes, yes, it helps. I think that helps. Something on my camera. Might be. Hold on. I feel like there's a light going down the middle of my face. Let's see. Hey, Kenyatta. How are you? How are you? Thank you so much for joining and being quick. Hey, girl. Hey, happy Sunday. Hey there. And congrats to baby girl again on that graduation. Hold on, y'all. Let me move something out the way. I'm in a different location, and I'm just hoping this dog does not harass the hell out of me. Hey, Tampa, yeah, so you know what? This is so in alignment with today's conversation. I'm trying to give y'all better. How's the lighting, y'all? Somebody tell me. Today's conversation, and yeah, it's all lining up. What's up, V Cooper 52? It's in alignment with today's conversation. I could just tell by those who are coming into the space. What's up, Amy? That this is going to be a good conversation. So I am in a different space, as you can see. I am in one of the tiny houses on my farm. And right now I'm being harassed. Let me show y'all real quick. He look rough, y'all. He hasn't gotten his hair did. All right. So it is what it is. We live on the farm now most of the time. So he's looking rough, but he is harassing me right now. And he is going to be bringing me toys, and I might be tossing them because it's preferable to hearing his little ass whining. Okay. So yeah. And then I got my other pooch right here. Clifford May is out doing her thing. Okay, she is working. She is working. Oh, thank you. Thank you, sis. I appreciate it. I'm well rested. I got some good rest. And it's been busy. It's been busy. The orders have been coming in steadily. I've been doing speaking because it's a way, honestly, to make quick liquid assets, and you can get paid. It definitely has been a good revenue generator for me. And I think about all the times I've talked for free to folks who didn't listen. Yes, I appreciate the payment for these words, I have to say. So that requires me to travel more. And then it's been a lot going on. We're growing this winter. This is our first winter actually having an active fall winter, having an active growing plan. Typically when we stop with our fall harvesting, and usually that's like crops that maybe root crops, things like that. When we stopped that previously, we took a couple of months off from like the production side, focusing more on maintenance and things like that. But we took that off from production. We ain't taking that off this year. This is our 5th year growing. And so we grow slow, so we don't we feel comfortable now that we can grow over the fall and winter utilizing our facilities more. Yes. Yes, Amy, come through. Y'all, don't forget to like the live. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, KT. He is a sweetheart. Tampa, the crafty queen. He is a sweetheart, but he's annoying too. And you know, I ain't gonna put his business out there. I was about to tell y'all something we went through earlier this morning, but I ain't gonna put much business out there like that. But we done had a day already. So the fact that he's harassing me is like, bruh. And mind you, that was supposed to be my granddog. Munch was just coming to spend the night. He had to spend a night bag. That was over 8 years ago. I finally went ahead and gave him my last name because we just not gonna have you out there, you know, unnamed or whatever. Oh, welcome. Is it Damon? Yes. Okay. So anyway, let me stop going off about all that because I do have some stuff I want to talk to y'all about. And it's a conversation that some people find uncomfortable. I find that there's still a lot of reticence with people about talking about money in for me, no stress, easy kind of way. I don't mind talking about money. And I think that is one of the things that made it so easy for me when I was in the field as a professional fundraiser, talking to people about their money. It doesn't cause any type of dis-ease in me. Like, I have a healthy relationship with money. And more importantly, I realized that money is only an aspect of what wealth is, at least for me. Now, mind you, my experience along the socioeconomic ladder is extensive. Whereas I didn't grow up poor. Now, my mom, who is with the ancestors, I ain't gonna lie on you, Brenda, but my mother was college educated. Her mother was college educated. My father was college educated. They divorced, and my mother just wasn't good with money. She got money, but she just wasn't good with it. So I did grow up many years in a home where there was more mismanagement. My father was very good with money, but he did not teach me financial literacy. So fast forward, I end up, hey Marcy, I end up, even though I have this background, solid in education and those kinds of things, I did not have the foundation in learning about money and truly understanding wealth. And I think, you know, when you're real young, it's very difficult to really understand what this idea of wealth is, especially if your needs are being met. But, you know, having the experience, of course, I leave home. I end up being a 2-time teenage mom. So while I was going to college and figuring ish out, I had 2 human beings to take care of. So I did rely on social services. Now, my attitude was always, I know this ain't for me, right? Like, I did the poverty thing. I didn't like it. I was uncomfortable. And I knew that I was smart enough to figure something out. And one of the ways I knew that I was smart enough to figure something out is even from a young age, my dummy identification skills are on point. I can spot a dummy. I can. And I know that may not be the socially politically correct term, but people who it just seems like are operating with dehydrated brain cells. You know the type, right? Like, the reason why it's not making sense is because you truly aren't making sense. And so because of that, what's up, Rob? I also saw how many people were afforded some lifestyles that were financially comfortable around me, that I was like, wow, so you know, you're rich. I know I can figure this out at that point in my life. And y'all drop, let me know. Okay, Rod, got that red wine. My bad. I didn't even mention what we hydrating with. Hold on. So I've got some black tea right here that I sweetened with some vanilla sugar. Yes, I got some stuff planned for the holidays. I got some sugars for y'all. I got some things, okay? I had to get the quality right. But anyway, I have that, and then I have a little lemon balm lemonade with just a dash of Prosecco. I like options. Be sure to drop what you hydrating with, okay? And share with me while I'm talking. I want to know what your definitions of wealth are. I'm just kind of giving background to how I got to where I am now with my definition. So at that point, it was about money. All right. I didn't like receiving money from the government in that way. I didn't know of other ways at that time. Becoming a fundraiser, I was like, oh, y'all don't talk to everybody the same. Okay, bet. But I had that experience of going, to fill out the report, because I tried to be up and up, because for the most part, I've always known I got to be here for my kids. I don't really have anybody like that I can just be like hemmed up and somebody has my kids. So in that regard, while I don't recommend it, I know that for me, having children at a young age kept me from doing some really dumb things, because I would think to myself, I got kids. People offer you stuff. No, I can't afford. I'm on food stamps. I cannot afford to get addicted to anything. Like, I got X amount of dollars. The baby got a field trip. I got to get some gas. I'm probably going to have to go float a check. That's back when you could float checks. If they want to come for me for that, come on, you Patty. You won't be able to prove it. Let me put allegedly on it. Allegedly. But nah. Yeah, when you used to write check on Wednesday and you had till Friday, and then your check was going to hit on Friday, you got a paper check, so you go ahead and put it in the bank and everything, and you good. Some of y'all may be able to relate. Some of you may not. But that's where I was, and understanding about credit and how much it costs to be poor, higher interest rates, payday loan places take advantage of you. You get charged fees on everything, late fees, and that's stuff. Like, it was really, really challenging. And so I started to connect wealth with money, because I was just like, I need more money. If I had more money. And so that was my quantitative definition of wealth. Hold on, let me look at some of these comments. My definition of wealth is when my money investments fully support the lifestyle I desire with ease. For sure. I want that now, and I'm about to put in an order for me and my granddaughter. Wealth to me is right mind and good health. Yes. Ability to read and write. Yes. All of that. So I go through the process. I get bad credit, good credit. I figure out how to keep my credit at a score that nobody's going to tell me no based on my credit score. Like, that has been eliminated. I'll just share that I took a hit when my student loans were forgiven. So I did that 10-year, 120 payment. They forgive. I did that program for people who worked in the nonprofit space. And so when they forgave my loans, my credit took like a 60, high 50, 60 point hit, because those were long-standing accounts that were in good standing, right? And so all of that's closed and wiped away. I was able to take that 60 point hit and still could have walked in and gotten a 0% interest rate if I wanted to, if I was inclined to borrow money. The reason I'm saying that, it's not bragging, because I know how to maintain it, but I had to learn. Like I had to earn more, and I had to learn more as well about how money works. Now I get into fundraising, I start seeing things like I mentioned before, the government has different attitudes depending on how you're getting the money, but they're cutting checks all the time. You can write instruments called applications, ROIs, whatever. You can go into contract. Like the government is pumping money out there, and a huge section that is pumping it into is to the nonprofit space, government, and other governments, and also even agriculture. So I initially became a grant writer. I started to see how money moved differently. I started to see how things were prioritized, how outcomes and goals and objectives and things like that were constructed. And it is a really valuable skill if you are able to convey what it is that you're trying to do in a manner that others will put money in you. And so that's why I'm just so passionate about wanting to teach others, especially farmers, and for show farmers that they just make it ridiculously challenging to be successful in, but we're still able to do it. Those farmers is how to be able to create those types of proposals. But anywho, y'all keep dropping. It says it's 13. I've seen a few of y'all, but share what your definition of wealth is. And then I want you to share where you are with that definition. Whatever your definition is, where are you? Do you consider yourself to be wealthy? And let me just go ahead and say, I do consider myself to be wealthy. I'm wealthy right now. I am wealthy beyond measure. Now, that doesn't mean I don't still have goals. I don't have things that I'm still wanting to achieve. It just means I'm good. I'm good. My life is such, not going to miss a bill. I'm not going to miss a meal. And I'll get more into that. I'm healthy, right? I'm wealthy now. So I'm working on achieving the things that I want to achieve in a state of present wealth, as opposed to wealth being this thing that I'm trying to achieve. But all right, continue moving up in fundraising, and I start dealing with the very high net worth individuals. And I will say this, when they tell you that money cannot buy happiness, that is one, absolutely, I believe it. It cannot buy happiness. It cannot buy happiness. However, it can support a lifestyle that is conducive to being happy. Absolutely. All very wealthy people are not miserable. Nope. They're not. They're not. They're not all worried that they're going to lose their money. Not all. No. There are some that, I mean, they've been wealthy for so long, lose money. How? Ow. You know? Definition of wealth to me is having assets to build with and creating more wealth. Okay. These are all very good definitions of wealth. I want to touch on a couple of points. And what I will say from that experience working with these extremely high net worth individuals, what I realized is that wealth is a customized definition. Y'all, hold on. Go to your room. Go to your room. Go to your room. Get in. Hold on. Let me close you up. Okay. Because you're not going to sit up here and harass me this entire time. Like, come on. You absolutely know better. I had to put much in his room, y'all. All right. A customized definition. It's not a one size fits all type thing. It's very personal. It's going to be unique to each person. And for some, wealth might mean a high bank balance. That may be some people's definition of wealth. But for other people, it could mean freedom from stressing about finances. That's it. I just don't want to worry about finances anymore. It could be the ability to be more in nature or live off the land, or creating a family that fits them. It could be all of those things. Now, for me now as a farmer, and this started, I've always had, for example, a love of nature. I've always loved and respected the outdoors, natural resources. I was the friend, like, I will unfriend you if you are littering and things like that. That just irritates me when people just disregard. And it's like, yeah, I'm that person. I care about the biodiversity, and it's not something that was necessarily taught. I think at certain points in my life, it may have been reinforced, but that's just always been inherent to who I am. And that had a big thing with me wanting to get into environmental fundraising. And now as a farmer, wealth for me includes the ability to care for the land, to be responsible for how this nugget is loved on and respected. It is the ability to do something I love, which is grow these beautiful plants and be a part of that. But not only that, I also love the marketing and the branding and the packaging and the blending and the formulation part. Like, I love all of that. And I'm able to bring all of that into something that results in goodness for my customers, that results in increased and expanded well-beings. That is just so fulfilling for me. And also, part of it is, whereas I don't feel that it's my responsibility and really within my scope to build a legacy for Black farmers, like that legacy has been in existence far before I ever was thought of, before I was in my grandmother's womb. I do feel that part of wealth for me is building a life in which I'm able to show up and represent a voice, I feel, that needs to be heard more in several spaces. And that's part of my definition of wealth. Let me see. Let me read this. My definition is having what I need, want when I need, want it. Yes. Definition of wealth to me is having assets to build with and creating more wealth. Wealth is when your money works for you. They love you. The plants do love me. They really, They really do, y'all. They really do. I tell you, and it's so tangible. It's so tangible, and I love them back. They don't be wanting me to cut them, though. me say that, but they do love me. Over the years, I've learned life is a gamble, but you must always bet on yourself. Yes, I deserve the good in life through seeking knowledge and putting the knowledge in action, patience in the outcomes. Absolutely. Y'all are all making some excellent points. Yeah. So it's customized. It's something you've got to define for yourself. It can't be based on who you see with what and driving what and doing what or whatever. It's really something that you have to determine for yourself. And your definition of wealth may not be the same as the next person's definition for wealth. And I think that's a lot of challenge. That poses a lot of challenges in many relationships, is that they have different definitions of what wealth is. And we talk about finances, hopefully, and we'll talk about financial security and things like that. But I don't think there's enough conversation about wealth holistically. Another thing that I realized were that for my customized definition of wealth, and why I consider myself wealthy, is that joy and peace are the foundation of real wealth. And that came a lot from being around people that had considerable resources, and money was not an object. I'm talking about just wealth beyond measure, y'all. Just some extremely wealthy people. And seeing some that are happy. And we tend to, put wealth and happiness hand in hand, and it's not necessarily the case. I feel that if my definition, if you do not have joy and peace, then no amount of material success is going to be fulfilling. And for me personally, being able to wake up and go outside and hear the birds and walk through my fields and take note of what needs to be done, and later to be inside of my herb cabin, which is just really like a hug. It really brings me wealth that I know money can't buy. Now, with that said, I am a for-profit business, so I do understand that the reason that I'm able to enjoy these things is because I don't owe any money on them, because they are paid for, and they are paid for with money. So I do understand that money plays a role. I'm not naive, but I know that money alone couldn't provide that, and that there's joy that I'm not missing out on because I'm able to celebrate the little victories, right? And peace that stems from living authentically, literally not having toxic relationships. And I had to sever some relationships, some long time relationships, because I made a commitment to my peace, because I knew that that was a foundational tenet of real wealth, my definition of real wealth. And so being able for me to cultivate joy and peace, it's radical. It makes my herbs taste better. Why are your herbs better than? Because I got the missing ingredients. That's why. But it's also reclaiming what systemic inequities have tried to strip away. So I also realize, and I'm going to say this, and then I want to see some of your comments. For me, being rich and being wealthy are not the same. And so I'd love to hear from you and let me know if you consider being rich and being wealthy to be the same. Let me see. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's being rich and being wealthy. Do you use those the same? If you say someone's being rich, someone's rich, in your mind, is there no difference between that and them being wealthy, or is there a difference for you? Takes a minute for the comments to pop up. Not at all. Okay. Is that in response to being rich and being wealthy, that you don't see there's a not at all, there's a difference? Rich is temporary, wealth generational. Okay. Oh, you're saying that they're not the same. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. That's a good one. I feel with my definition of wealth, that wealth isn't just about having money. It's about how you feel about your life, your ability to thrive. I met, as I mentioned earlier, really wealthy people who, despite all the money that they had, all the yes people and people just, carowing to them and all of that, they're able to go to any place on the planet that they want to go to. And also, especially when I was working in higher education, running across those with more modest resources. They might be, financially comfortable, but more modest resources. And they had such joy and gratitude. I remember, especially when I was VP at a HBCU here in the region, in the Triangle region, in Raleigh. Man, those alumni would be so wealthy. They'd be so happy to give back to their schools. And, you know, it was just such joy that was being exuded, just such genuine joy. And then to think about being in rooms with these extremely not wealthy, but extremely rich people, and they have these really high net worths and they're miserable. And so that contrast taught me that being rich can get you things, it can get you material possessions and acquisitions, but if you don't have emotional and spiritual fulfillment, my definition, you're not wealthy. And building Green Heifer Farms has truly taught me to value what's meaningful, and that's health, and that's relationships, and that's purpose. And that's why I take such pride in these herbs, because these are herbs that I'm ingesting as well. And I love me, and I'm wealthy. Like, I got to look out for me. Right? So, yeah, that's my definition. Wealthy, your money works for you. Rich covers a multitude of areas. To me, not just financial. Okay, Antoinette. Tony. Being rich can be different if you look at wealth as a generator of more assets. Okay. To me, I may not be rich in finances, but I'm rich in love. I like that love to generate an abundance of wealth for my children and beyond. Yes. Okay. All great thoughts. Great thoughts. Are y'all vibing with the conversation? We good? Let me check time. Okay. I'm gonna have us out here at 3:00. I ain't gonna do you like they used to do in church when I was younger. Be like, I'm gonna wrap this up. Whenever they said that, I already knew. I got pinched a couple of times because he a lie may have slipped out my mouth. It may have. I remember getting pinched, and like I couldn't believe my thoughts betrayed me like that. Something just come out like what? And I was just shocked. Like, oh, that was in my head. Oh, that was in my head. Yeah. Anywho. So another thing for me with my definition of wealth, y'all, you have to be very clear. You got to have some clarity on what it is you expect from wealth. All right. You don't want to be out here, my definition, customized definition. But I believe that if you're not clear about what you want, then you are at risk for chasing just this hollow version of success. Right? What is it you want? Do you want stability? You don't want to have to worry about bills and expenses and inflation and taxes and car maintenance costs, all of that. You don't want any of that to be a concern or a source of stress in your life. Do you want freedom? Do you want influence? Some people want influence. For me, it means that you have the time to focus on what it is that truly brings you joy. For me, that's building green heifer farms. It's being able to support and give in a way that's not extractive, that's on my terms. And it's the ability to not only be able to take care of myself the way I want to be cared for, I'm also able to show up for my children. I'm able to show up for community. And so I feel like when you define your expectations, you don't run the risk of chasing what others may value or what the media is telling you wealth is. And you can start building what truly matters to you. And then I think my last point I'll make, do y'all hear him? And don't try to stick up for him either. Drop in the comments if you hear much being disrespectful, just absolutely disrespectful. I know y'all hear him. Anyway, my last point, true wealth, I believe, is absolutely void of envy. If you live in a life where you're envying or coveting others, that's not wealth to me, because if you get the monetary acquisitions and the money, right, and it's built on envy, then it's not sustainable and it can't be satisfying. So for me, my definition, when you are truly shown up for real wealthy, you don't covet or envy someone else's success. You ain't looking at their car. You ain't looking at how many square feet they have in their house. You're not going on a vacation simply because so-and-so went there. Like, you're so busy nurturing your own that there's no way you could be, walking around envying others. You're able to celebrate others, their wins and their windfalls, when they have a positive windfall, and still stay focused on your path. For me, that's my definition. And this mindset has allowed me to create a mindset based on abundance. I don't have a scarcity mindset. I don't have a lack mindset. And what farming has been able to do, and building Green Heifer Farms, is it's really taught me the lesson of how much nature gives. So generous. And what I learned from both fundraising and farming is that there's more than enough for everyone, more than enough. absolutely more than enough. And so I believe that true wealth is about recognizing and respecting that abundance. And when you're doing that, you can't be, looking over side eye at what someone else has, and living your life where there's just room for envy, jealousy, or coveting. He does need to know what you don't like him to do at any time he's around you. Oh, you talking about, yeah, he's showing out, and that's why I'm gonna let him stay right in there and show out. What's for me? Yes, what's for me is for me. That is huge. I've had some people, when I've shared some things that I want to do, they're like, oh, don't say it out loud because somebody will get your idea and run with it. I'm like, if somebody gonna take my idea and do all the work to bring it to fruition, okay, I'm still gonna do it. That has nothing to do with what I got going on, because I'm building my community over here. And chances are we not talking to the same community, because if we were, they wouldn't be that spiritually raggedy to take my idea and try to bring it to fruition for themselves in the first place. Have to go to work. Hey. Okay. Yes. Beautiful. Debt free. Debt free was a huge part. And let me say this: Green Heifer Farms is debt free. I still have a home, primary residence home, that has a mortgage on it. That is pretty much the debt, to the extent of the debt I have. I'm actually, I'll share this here. I shared it with my paid subscribers on IG that I've decided, because my girls have their own home. My son, he's early 20s. He doesn't need a 4-bedroom house in a family friendly, very much slated for professionals, etc. He don't need all that. And like you don't necessarily, I ain't gonna say that. I was about to say something. But he watches my video, so I'm not gonna say that. In case you see this, son, love you. But you don't need that much space, that much house. So I have decided actually to sell it, because it's just in a great location, and it's an area that it's gonna sell. So I'm not worried about that. I've been working on it more, putting money into it, because when you sell stuff, you got to put some money into it. But anyway, I'm going to actually build a house here at the farm on a foundation, and it's going to be a personal size house. So it's not going to be a tiny. It's not going to be a tiny. It's going to be all the space I need, and it's going to be paid for. It's going to be paid for. So it's in alignment with my definition of wealth. So I'm really excited about that. And y'all let me know. Let me know if that's something that you would be interested in me sharing some about. And let me also say, it's been pointed out to me that there's a certain security awareness I have to have about doing live streams, just because the farm is a place that if people dig hard enough, they can find where I am. Now, I've said this many times, but let me convey it once again. I keep my peace, and I keep my peace. But I do need to be aware of that, especially as there's always the potential for more people to become aware of you if you are in the social media space. So I'm trying to think of what that's going to look like. in 2025. I'll definitely share with you all what I ultimately decide. And it may be, just being transparent, it may be that the live streams are behind a paywall and I might change the time or something. I don't know. And then post them later for everybody to be able to enjoy. It may be something like that, but I'm thinking on it. So I'll let y'all know. Make sure that you like, subscribe if this was of any value, share. For those who gave to the campaign, I got y'all merch ready. So I'll be sharing an update on that. Y'all can get y'all sweatshirts and everything. For those who gave at that level, and then some of you, I have a video coming for you showing you how to do the iron on screen, as some of you receive. No. Does the coming administration give you pause? No. Not pause. Like, I'm paying attention to what they plan to do policy wise, and for the areas I need to make adjustments that don't require me to not be in alignment with my values, preparing myself to make those adjustments. It might mean shifting some of the ways that we work with the government. It might mean moving my assets some, I'm thinking that there's going to be some interesting things that are going to be happening with the market and interest rates, and even stuff like cryptocurrency and stuff like that. I think, definitely pay attention. But at this point, 49 years of living, I'd lived through Reagan. I done lived through both Bushes. I done lived through folks trying to say Clinton was a black man. Spiritual raggedness is spiritual raggedness, and it's different flavors, and it's different effects. And as long as we're in a society that we collectively keep allowing the same folks to have such global impact, then I'm not going to involve myself at any point that it threatens my wealth. For sure. So, yeah. Yeah, this is a time, pay attention to what folks are doing and what they're saying is going to be prioritized, and, govern yourself accordingly. That's my thought. So, do y'all have any questions or anything? If y'all share this, I'd appreciate that. So that would, I'm trying to figure out a way. I need YouTube in 2025 to generate revenue. And, herbs, brand building, fundraising as it relates to boutique farming, that kind of thing. It's a niche crowd. It's a niche crowd. I'm wondering, going back to that point about the administration, I'm wondering if how this is going to, if the fact that this administration is going to be taking office in January, if that is going to have a significant impact on how, particularly for me, the identities I align with, if there's going to be some shifts in how we move, if people are going to be more conscientious of what they're ingesting as far as media is concerned, as far as food is concerned, as far as their herbs, as far as the clothing that they purchase, if people are going to start paying more attention to who they're enriching. And I know that's from an individual level, but if there can be a collective shift, then that's when it becomes, that's when it's able to have systemic impact. So I'm wondering if that's the case, or if, it's a matter of people get used to it and some other thing, becomes the thing. Yeah, I'm very excited about building, and it's going to be such a cute little house. Oh, it's going to be a darling house. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to being able to, in my backyard, just see all of my beautiful plants growing and to continue growing down here. And I know some people are like, well, you don't really want to be, where you work or whatever. But no, I do. I do. I want that. So that's a wonderful house that I raised my children in. And I feel good about this because I'm taking the proceeds from that to invest more here, and they will get this with absolutely, here. Here you go. So being able to transform the money and really even more align my lifestyle with my definition of wealth is pretty awesome. And then that allows me, we have 2 tiny homes down here. I want to add a couple more. We're going to be putting our dome up as well. I am hoping to attract the right kind of energy that wants to come here and spend time, whether it's just they're coming because, they want to explore the area, or we've had some folks here that has something going on in Greensboro, but they didn't want to be in the city, or want to learn about farming, or want to learn about herbs, or whatever it is. Just want to get away, get somewhere where nobody knows your name. All right. And they always glad you came. So I'm really hoping that we are able to do that. I'm thinking about it in 2025 though. Like, I don't know if we're going to stay using Airbnb as our platform that we're using. And some of you may remember when I was initially doing it, I didn't want to be on anyone else's platform. I wanted to be a self-booking situation, but that was not as easy to make happen, and to interface with the website and calendars and all that. It was too much. So I ended up going Airbnb. And I've had great guests. I've had absolutely great guests, fantastic guests. But it's surprising, the guests that I've had. It's been surprising. I thought it would, the makeup of my guests would be different. So it's been interesting. Yeah. Anyway, y'all didn't ask about all that. Agritourism, yeah, it absolutely is if done right. But some people, I've seen some some agritourism farms that, I mean, they be doing a lot. They be doing hay rides and tractor pulls, tractor rides, and you pick this and you pick that, and they got a store and they got ice cream. Oh, they got so much going on. I'm like sensory overload. Who gonna do this every day? No. No, I have to have, for me, I have to have agritourism that fits within that joy and peace bubble that is what this hallowed piece of land exists under. And so I do like having workshops. Workshops are fantastic and a great way to engage meaningfully. So I'll be sharing my workshop schedule for 2025 soon. And, got to do what works for you. Some people love it. Some people love it. Y'all want pumpkin patches and all that. And I love that for you. I love it for you. But, ooh, whole bunch of kids, temper tantrums. I got grandbabies. I can go hear cry, and I love them. So it's different. But 15, 20 unhappy little kids that all need a nap. Oh, goodness. Where's pharmacy? Enjoying some herbs. My nerves. Oh my gosh. Could be a bit much. I've seen farms also at the hip camp. Yeah. I don't really want to do. I thought about those too. Nah. I kind of like how it is. Like there's no pressure. It's not like I gotta keep, this rotation of people in order to generate a certain amount of revenue, or whatever. So I really enjoy the fact that people find us and are like, yeah, okay. I've had a couple of people, some guests who just said they, read about our farm and about me and wanted to come and stay and be on the Black woman's farm and help, or work rather. And that's something to be like, wait a minute, you gonna pay me to come stay and you gonna work for me and I don't have to pay you? Oh, volunteer. It's like, hey, sign me up for that. I'm okay with that. So anyway, we're at 3:00 and I'm about to have a conversation with Mr. Munch Munch about his behavior. He did take a nap. But now he's like, all right, daggone it. Anywho, hush. Thank y'all for joining. Be sure to like, be sure to thumbs up and hit the subscribe and leave a comment under the video. I know y'all be leaving it in the chat and everything, but make sure like you leave me a little comment in the video as well. And yeah, I'll see y'all Sunday. Bye.